Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm sharing some of the things that I've made recently. This is a really fun range of projects that kind of spans a whole bunch of different types of things. And the one that I'm most excited to share with you is a really fun upcycling project that I did with a failed pair of pants that I had made a while ago. And I recently got around to turning them into something that I'm thinking I'm actually going to end up using, which is quite an unconventional shirt, and you'll see what that means when we get to that item. I also have a few items to share with you that are my current works in progress, and in the next video that I make, like this one, the kind of a things I've made recently type of video, you'll probably get to see how those turned out. Starting off, I have a project that has been a work in progress for quite a long time, and that is this felt whale shark. I love whale sharks. I've been swimming with whale sharks. They are amazing. They can get to be really huge, like the size of a bus, and they're filter feeders. So they go around the ocean with their massive mouths, scooping up things like fish eggs and plankton. The patterns of spots and stripes on their bodies are unique to each individual, just like a fingerprint. I sewed this whale shark a while ago, but had only gotten partway through the embroidered detail. So recently I finished off all the little spots on the face, and now it's finished. The next project I have to share with you is this curtain. I made it out of an IKEA duvet cover. I actually bought the duvet in order to use the material to make a chair cover for my brother's computer chair because the material on it was basically disintegrating. And I ended up having enough fabric left over to make this curtain. I think it's the perfect material to make curtains out of. It lets in just the right amount of light, and the pattern on it is lovely. This was an easy project to sew. It just involved hemming the sides, doing a wider hem at the bottom, and then hemming the top to create a tunnel that I could slide the curtain rod through. I also sewed this oven mitt. This is one of the projects that I found for my video on sewing gift ideas. And I'll link that video below in case you want to try making something like this for yourself, or any of the other projects in that video. I decided to make this because the oven mitts that we have are kind of falling apart. And it was really fun to be able to customize the quilting pattern and the color scheme and just make a very personal oven mitt. I deviated from the pattern a little in that the pattern calls for you to use 2 layers of cotton batting when you're quilting with the outer layer of fabric. And I actually did 1 layer quilting with the outer layer of fabric and 1 layer quilted to the lining. And then I sewed them each around the outside, turned the right side fabric right side out, put the lining inside, and just used bias binding to finish off the raw edge. I actually love this about sewing, that there are usually so many different ways to go about any given task or problem that you're trying to solve, and you get to decide what works best for you and your project. Okay, this is the one I've been waiting to share. I call it the marsupial shirt. It is a shirt with one really big pocket down the front of it. So the story behind this, I made a pair of Clyde work pants, and I did my measurements. I thought I had the size right, but they did not fit. And because they have so many seams, basically they're made up of a bunch of different panels, I didn't like the idea of unpicking them to make modifications, not being sure that I would ever completely get it right. But I remembered when I was sewing them, and a big part of the reason that I decided to sew these pants is because they have these amazing, huge pockets. I remember when I was sewing these pockets together, I held one up and I was like, imagine this on the front of a shirt. Imagine having this great big pouch just like a marsupial. So when the pants didn't work out, I decided I would take them apart and turn them into a shirt. I finally got around to doing that project. It's been a couple of years since that failed attempt at making pants. And I kept the pocket piece just as it was done, and then I took a few strips from the lower pant legs and sewed them on the sides to make it wide enough to be a shirt front. I really like it as a shirt. The pocket isn't as functional as I wanted it to be because when I'm wearing it, it's kind of hard to reach all the way down in it. You kind of have to contort yourself to actually stick your hand in the pocket because it is quite a deep pocket. But I still really like it. I still think I'm gonna end up wearing it a lot. Okay, moving on to the works in progress. I have a scrap project to show you and a knitting project. First up is a scrap fabric drawstring bag. I took a bunch of my scraps in different colors, mostly linen and a little bit of cotton, and I cut them into squares. And I've been doing a little embroidered flower on every piece. Then my plan is to sew them together by hand, so it'll be an entirely hand-stitched project. And I'm going to use them to make a drawstring bag with a round bottom. And of course, I'm going to line it because I don't want the raw edges or the backside of the embroidery to catch on whatever items I put in the bag. I also recently started a new knitting project. I have 2 balls of this cotton bamboo yarn left over from when I made my rosary jumper. They are 100 grams each, so I looked around for a pattern that I could make with that amount of yarn, and I ended up finding this shirt. It does call for 250 grams of yarn, so I might have to make it a little bit more cropped, but I think either way it's going to turn out great. And this pattern is exactly what I was looking for when I was picturing what I would make with the remaining yarn. So I'm really excited to try making it. Those are all of my recent and current projects. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I've been up to lately with my sewing and knitting. Let me know if you're working on anything interesting right now. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to this channel. It really means a lot to me. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!